if you're watching this, then you probably know that me and Lee of Ilkeston Web Design are redesigning the group fitness logo. Previously it looked like this, so that's a PNG, portable network graphics, and we've got several different viewports for the website as well. So not only are we going to have PC, desktop, but we'll have laptop, and then we'll have the tablet views and the phone views, and in this viewport you've even got a bit of extra space at the side, so there's always an opportunity to maybe modify a logo slightly, so you've actually got more than one version of it. So the advantage of using SVG, scalable vector graphics, is that it's smaller in file size, quicker to load, and retains its quality better, whether it's print or digital. So if it's print, you can blow it up to like a really large size and it will never lose its quality. And on the screen, I often find that SVG is a little bit sharper than PNG or JPEG. So I'm with Lee, he's a graphic designer. You there, Lee?
Hi guys, yeah.
Okay, so you've got some concepts to show, haven't you? You sent these over to me. I gave you some criteria. Do you remember when I mentioned the film Dodgeball, which you know, the Vince Vaughn film? Because that was like our original sort of starting point. So that's the logo, and what we've got, maybe it's a little bit too similar to Average Joe's, but I guess it's just good to demo it anyway. But even if you don't go with that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just using that scripted font and just making it personal. It's
Yeah.
not too corporate.
Yeah.
Gyms tend to cater for all kinds of people, really. So this is kind of just kind of focuses on that, really.
Yeah, it's a nice font. It's got a nice classic look.
Yeah.
So I mean, group fitness cater to it's beginner, intermediate, advanced. But what they said they wanted to do was avoid like appealing to people who are already fit, like people who are like buff or muscular. They're not necessarily appealing to those people. They want to sort of maybe like encourage this fun, family-friendly atmosphere, because the people that go there do know each other quite well, and there is a sense of community. And it is called group fitness. So there's an emphasis on the classes, although they do personal training and open training as well. I like this one here with the 3 figures. I think that's quite nice. So I think the rule of 3 is often quite effective in design. Like, you know, you get the rule of 3 in marketing and sales quite a lot, you know. Even Tony Blair said education, education, education. He was using the rule of 3, and that's something that occurs in sales, marketing, design. I was just thinking maybe we could like superimpose some of these concepts onto the screenshot I've got, and we could see what it looks like. I mean, do you have any other ideas besides these at present? Because I was thinking we could like swap out some of these figures to demonstrate maybe other sports, like indoor cycling is something that group fitness do, and that's something which occurs on their timetable quite a bit. So we've got these different indoor cycling classes. They've got 16 spin bikes in a studio at the back of the gym. So I was thinking, like, how difficult would it be just to maybe swap out one of these figurines and make it look like somebody's on a on a spin bike.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be quite easy to do. I mean, Concept 2 and Concept 5 that use those figures, they're kind of the starting point, really. I mean, we're not set in stone on these. You know, if there's a specific activity that needs to be included in the logo, then we can do that. So certainly, if you take Concept 2, for example, there are 2 examples of people using weights. So we could get rid of one of those and substitute it for another. Concept 5 uses the guy in the middle with the weights, and then we've got the 2 people stretching either side just to give it that balance. But again, we can work on that particular concept if that's the route we go down using the figures.
Yeah.
But even as like part of the brand package, like you can use these figures beyond the logo. So you could have your logo and then use individual figures for wall graphics, for example. So there's that option as well. It might not work for a logo.
What? So like actually like use the graphics in the premises? You mean like on notice boards or like on the reception desk or something like that, like for other literature?
Yeah, and you notice the spinning. You mentioned the spinning classes. So like in that studio, you could have like a big figure on the wall.
Yeah.
A nice graphic.
I was thinking also, it just made me think. On the website here, this is the front page. We're going to need like something to represent group classes, personal training, and open training. Maybe like we could use like a figure in each of these boxes, just like a single figure doing something. So like group classes could be like 3 figures, each doing a jumping jack. Do you know what I mean? So like 1, 2, 3. And then personal training, it could be somebody doing a jumping jack with somebody like standing, like crouching next to them or doing something like to encourage, do you know what I mean? Like as if like you've got the person doing the exercise and then like the person who's coaching them. And then with open training, it could just be a single figure doing a jumping jack, and that's it, no other figures. So we could be repurposing elements of the logo for other parts of the site. Because I think,
yeah, definitely.
Because we do need something here. We could use photos, but I think motifs, like, because that's what these are, aren't they? These are motifs, like symbols, whatever you want to call them. So I expect we'll continue to play around creating these extra figures, and some of those figures might not even make it into the main logo, but they could be used here. So that's the benefit to having this logo created, I suppose. We'll be coming up with additional bits of design which we could use on the site, if not actually in the main logo. So I was just thinking, if I just resize the text there, by the way, whilst we were talking, because often you've got to try and fit the logo into a very specific area, and you don't often have a lot of space to do that. So if I was to just zoom in on here, whoops, that's a bit too far. If I was to just remove that, and then superimpose what we've created, we can get a rough idea of what it's going to look like when we come to complete the logo and insert it into the website. So I think already that looks better. I mean, I've not even got it into position, and it's not even a final logo design. Already that is way better than what was there before. And the logo that was used before, like I said, that was just a PNG, and you can't really do as much with PNG. What do you think to that?
Yeah, it definitely works in situ, doesn't it? With the colour scheme and the composition with the three figures in the Group Fitness brand underneath.
I'm thinking we've got a bit of space to play with as well, because I've obviously put that in there in the top left. We've got a bit of additional space here. If we go to the website and just right click, that's how much space we've got there at present. So we've got this additional space. Maybe we could afford to just make it a little bit wider, so each figure just there's a bit of space between each one, if you know what I mean. So
yeah,
we'd just be giving it a bit of breathing space, so they're not quite so it's not quite so tight, and maybe we might even be able to have a space between group and fitness. But we've got a bit of space to play with anyway. That's the point. I suppose we could drop in some of the other concepts. I mean, I do quite like this one, but like it is a little bit too dodgeball-ish. So if I was to drop it in there, because when it goes into portrait mode as well, on the this would be the iPad portrait, you've often got more space. And you can display the logo at different sizes or create variations of the same logo. So there's that, and then so once this logo is created, we'd be supplying it to them in what, Adobe Illustrator format, PDF, PNG, because they're going to want a logo that they can maybe use for social media as well. So like if they want to create some graphics of their own, they could drop the logo onto it.
Yeah, I mean, what I tend to do when I design a logo is once it's signed off and approved and ready to go, the client will get a series of files. So it might be that there's 5, 6 files of the same logo, but for different purposes. So one will be used for, say, a billboard.
Yeah.
Another can be used for something as small as a business card. And in terms of getting things printed, it needs to be of a high enough resolution to be able to do that. So all the files that are supplied can be used across a range of media.
Okay, so if you're watching, anyone from Group Fitness, let us know what you think. Tell us which of these concepts you like and which ones you'd like us to work up. I'm in favour of concept 2. What about you, Lee? Which one are you in favour of?
If I was to choose one, I quite like concept 4 because it's not gender specific or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But it does only use the dumbbells. It's got a nice graphic element to it. I think all concepts really have something in them, and obviously if there's something you like in one concept and another, we can look at combining the two.
Thing is, if you do that, if you combine too many concepts into one, like a bit from that one, it's like trying to have your cake and eat it, and it might end up just being like a Frankenstein's monster mishmash, which doesn't really do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking more in terms of the style of text in concept 2, for example, going underneath the icon of concept 4, little things like that. But I mean, these aren't set in stone. Like I say, these are more to get the client to kind of commit to a certain style and give us an idea of what they're after in their identity. Really,
I've got to say, I didn't consider gender before, because I suppose those figures are suggestive of male, aren't they? Like male figures. It never occurred to me that, or are they?
I mean, if you take concept 5, for example, you've obviously got three figures is we can definitely tweak one of the two figures that are stretching and add, say, a ponytail to one of them to make it look more like a female form. So there's things like that we can do, and try and cater for obviously both male and female members.
Yeah.
Concepts 1 and 3, 1, 3 and 4, we don't have to worry too much about. In that they're mainly typographic.
I was just thinking, like, you know, when you see a road sign and it denotes something with a figure on it, are they gender specific? I mean, do they ever make a distinction between male and female, or is it just meant to be like a human being and that's it?
I think it depends how much you look into it. Obviously, a figure is a figure.
Yeah.
Interpreted as a human form. So, in that respect, we've got a group of them exercising. So, you know, they can represent both men and women. But depending on how much detail you want to put into those illustrations, they could turn into more detailed drawings, if you like, rather than a simple form.
Yeah.
But again, that's down to client preference, and if they do want something a little bit more detailed and something that uses more defined figures for both male and females, then yeah, we can incorporate that in future logo ideas.
Yeah, all right.